So number 5, it says, men can marry more than one wife, and the way that it pleases him. Well, that's wrong, because in the time of Jahiliyyah, it means the time before the Islam, before the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Men used to marry 6, 7, 10, 12, 15, and nobody would say anything about it. And it was considered acceptable. So when this ayah came, and I'm going to read it right now, it says that the man can or may marry up to 4. He actually limited the marriage. He did not allow the man to have multiple marriages. So it was the opposite way of what many of the non-Muslims, or even us, we think this way. We think, oh, well, the man can marry whatever he wants, how many, No, actually, Islam limited, not gave him the permission to multiply. And it says in the Quran here in ayah number 3, and if you fear that you will not deal justly with the orphans. And again, the first part of this ayah, it talks about the orphans, taking care of them, to help them, to give them welfare, to support them. Then you can marry from the women. And here it talks about the women. It could be the mother of these orphans to help them out. We in many of the Muslim countries until now, we don't have the welfare like here, food stamp and like the WIC and all the other stuff that that the government can actually help, especially if a U.S. citizen here. So the best thing to do is to have another man to support her, either financially and emotionally by doing this. And here it says, then marry those that please you of other women, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you will not be just, then marry only one. Only one, okay? Or those your right hand possesses, that is more suitable, that you may not incline to justice. A reporter asked one of the chiefs of the tribes in Africa, and he's not a Muslim, by the way, and this is not his picture, but I couldn't find a picture for him. I used to have the picture of that. His name is King of Zuma. And he was asked, oh, well, you men can marry whatever wife of you want. Isn't that oppressing for the women? So the King of Zuma, he said, the problem is not with me marrying more than one woman. The problem is with your culture, who thinks that you are superior than any other cultures. Talking about the supremacy. So in some cultures, it is accepted that man can marry more than one wife. And it is an optional, it is not an obligatory. Okay? And by the way, polygamy is the wrong word to say about a man marrying more than one wife. Because polygamy, it means that also a woman can marry more than one husband. But the correct word for it in English is polygyny. Polygyny is the right word, is when one man marry more than one wife. Okay. Also, that more than 98% of the Muslims in the Arab world and in the Islamic world actually married to only one wife, to one woman. So it is not something that common that Muslims do, that they just go and marry more than one wife. Okay, but it is an option for the man in very certain situations. For example, if the woman cannot have children and the man wanted to have children. And there are some very strict rules. Like one of the rules that he should take permission from his wife before he goes to another woman. Okay. The other thing is that the man should be fair, with both wives. So, for example, if he married another woman and he has 2 houses, he has to provide a house for the first and the house for the second. If he has, even some scholars, they say, even if he bought a shoe, for one wife, he has to buy the same exact shoe, to the other wife, or something that it is valuable with the same value like for the first wife. If he's complimenting one wife, he should compliment the second wife in the same way, or in the same value, and so on. Okay, and so he has to be very fair with both. But again, this is a very extreme cases, and it's very rare that happen, that a man could marry more than one wife. but it is not, it is accepted. Then also, I have one of the, she's actually a new Muslim who told me this, and she's married. She was a second wife. I was like, how could you do that? Aren't you jealous? Is it like, do you have any problem? I have all these misconceptions myself about, marrying another, because all the time, when we watch like the Arabic drama, they always put like that the second wife is always the evil wife, and they always like do things about, that they're always jealous with each other, always fighting. So I was like, don't you have any problems? Or she said, well, it is better for me to know that my husband is having another wife instead of cheating on me behind my back. That's what she said. Unfortunately, the rules here in the United States is the man can have as many girlfriends as he wants, have as many affairs as he wants in the haram way, but he cannot do it in the halal way. But again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He knows the heart of the man, that he cannot be just with more than one wife, and He knows that this could actually hurt the woman. And just to let you know, and this is, please, I want you to put a line under what I'm going to say right now. All the rules about women in Quran is to protect the woman. Again, all the rules about women in Quran is to protect her. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, and I'm going to say it in English, and you will never be able to be equal in feeling, talking to men. You will never be equal between wives, even if you should strive to do so. So do not incline completely towards one and leave another one hanging. Okay? And if you amend your affairs and fear Allah, then indeed Allah is ever forgiving and merciful. But if they separate by divorce, and will enrich them for His abundance, and ever is Allah encompassing and wise. Okay, any question about this? Yes, ma'am. I don't know. I'm new here, so I wouldn't know.
Yes, my husband has 2 other wives. I'm the first.
They don't bother you?
No. As long as he do what he's supposed to do. I'm all about me.
That's a good one.
We have to take care of ourselves.
And by the way, I'm going to show you some ways how to protect yourself from that. Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. So